Welcome to Hacking the Hustle. This is your host, Benji Sklar. Really excited to have my friend Justin Kamine on the podcast today. What's up, Justin?
How's it going, Ben?
Going well. So a little bit of background on Justin. Justin is from New Jersey. He played soccer at Lafayette. He lives in New York City, and he has a great background in the business world. He is the co-founder of KDC Ag, which is a company turning food leftovers into animal and pet feeds. He's also the co-founder of Upgrade, which is a daily supplement with organic ingredients. And he was also ranked in Forbes as one of the 50 most influential impact investors. He's Forbes 30 under 30. He was a TEDx speaker, an investor advisor, and a bunch of startups. And he's contributed or been featured in a variety of publications, including CNBC, Forbes, and Entrepreneur. And more importantly than all that, I really look up to Justin. I really think he's a great person for me to be inspired by. I really think he's working on things that really will make an impact on the planet. So great to have you on the podcast, Justin.
Thanks for having me.
Of
Appreciate it.
course, of course. So let's just dive into. I know that you actually were infected with the coronavirus. So let's just start with that. How are you feeling? How was that? How did that happen?
Yeah, so we all came out to. I was fortunate enough to grow up on a horse farm out in New Jersey, and we came out here about 3.5, 4 weeks ago. And guess it was about 2.5 weeks ago. I just kind of came down, and everything Chris Cuomo said is absolutely dead on and very true. So like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, randomly fever would spike and go up to 102, 103. And I'm not a fat guy, but I lost 10 pounds in the first 2 days and sweated out pretty much every single night. Probably had to change my outfit 4 or 5 times just based upon the sweat. And then that got better and the fever reduced. And the fourth or fifth day started hallucinating at night a little. And it was really interesting because I couldn't tell what was reality and what wasn't. And it was kind of scary, but kind of intriguing. And at least from my perspective, loving the human body and all that type of stuff, as to it was an interesting experiment for the most part. And yet super scary. And you recognize that if you do have a chronic condition, you do have an underlying asthma, that this thing is really serious. And it almost felt like a biological weapon because it was so systematic. Every day at 5 o'clock, fever. Every night, hallucination. And then the shortness of breath would really come on. And it was intense and it was scary for 6 or 7 days. Thankfully and fortunately, it did go away and it did pass. But it's serious and it's something that we all need to be conscious of. And it really reevaluated what and why we're doing what we are doing as a society, and the importance of it.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm so happy that you're better now.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, so let's parlay that into Upgrade. Tell us about what is Upgrade? What is this supplement that you're the co-founder of, and why is it important?
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it all hits on human health and chronic conditions. So about a year ago, I was tired of watching my parents take synthetic chemicals for their daily and chronic conditions. If you think about those products, 30 seconds of the 45-second commercial are all the warning labels. And it's terrible that we've just come as a society to accept that. So me being me, I randomly cold called the former chief innovation officer of New Avon, who was the global R&D director of Pfizer Clinical Supplies, and she ran open innovation at GlaxoSmithKline, and she was a VP of R&D at Nature's Bounty. Literally cold called her and asked her one single question, which was, how come no one has ever taken a pharmaceutical scientific approach to clinically study organic ingredients and launched essentially the world's first organic pharmaceutical company for chronic conditions? At that time, she said it was impossible on that first phone call. 2 weeks later, she called me up and quit her job and joined my team full time. And that team has now grown to about 20, 30 people worldwide. Top FDA guys, Obama's former senior policy advisor for nutrition, top executives from Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer and many others, because we all recognize that food is medicine. And now we've actually studied food as medicine and then put it into a form and a function and a price point at $1 a day that people can afford and take every single day, and actually have the highest science. If you want to talk science, let's talk science, but also recognize that it's fully organic. So things that are equally as effective, something that you can take daily for inflammation and aches and pains and soreness, something that we have on a daily basis. We need to keep our bodies at a natural level of inflammation so that it is at the best immunity and best health. And the product has been absolutely incredible, from top professional athletes that are all taking it to enhance their daily recovery, to grandparents, to high school kids. Everything is about being preventative and proactive with your body. And unfortunately, society has gone with many of the pharmaceuticals where you just become reactive.
Hmm.
And 86% of our healthcare costs are spent on chronic conditions. Only 3% are spent on preventing them, which is
Hmm.
completely reversed and completely backwards. So our first product, like I said, is about inflammation, and something that you can take daily and feel good about taking daily. It's helped me. It's helped thousands of other people.
Hmm.
And then the next products will be about immunity, pre-diabetes glucose, and blood cholesterol. So we're
Hmm.
pretty excited by now providing products that are equally as effective, without warning labels, without synthetic chemicals, that have the same pharmaceutical-like scientific approach, but that are fully organic. And that's
Hmm.
what good health is all about.
It's incredible. For someone who's plant-based and takes vitamins every day, I feel like that's an easy sell for me, and I completely understand the value in taking non-chemical, natural ingredient products. But I feel like for people like my uncle, my dad, who are part of the older generation, who feel like this would be like fugazi, like, oh, like those yogis who want to take just natural products, how do you get across to them that this is actually what's good for them?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, more and more reports are coming out about the existing synthetic chemicals. So Tylenol and acetaminophen, which is a major component of Tylenol, just got linked as a carcinogen out in California. Ibuprofen, based on the Harvard study, just got linked that it actually delays athletic recovery, and it all makes sense. Those products are just uh, masking the problems. They're not
Mhm,
actually healing the human body. So when you want to say, hey, let's talk science, which is the biggest difficulty of a lot of the plant-based and a lot of the supplements that are out there, which is why I say, no, we're an organic pharmaceutical. Because if you want to talk science, great. I got one of the top scientists in the world as my co-founder that literally helped formulate half of those other drugs. And now is sitting there saying, no, we've now taken that same approach, but with organic ingredients. Every
mhm,
synthetic chemical is derived from an organic ingredient. So let's actually now go back and study those organic ingredients and put them into that form and function, that people like your father can take. I think it's been interesting. We've actually our sales map has been super fascinating. Where we thought we would be crushing it on the coast, the New York City and the LAs, right, where they're
mhm,
all about health and wellness. In many ways, we all got inundated with it, which is fantastic. It's great, and we're a healthier society. But a lot of our sales are actually, kind of call it, in the middle part of the country,
mhm,
where they are wanting and desiring something that is affordable. It's $1 a day, and it's also beneficial and can help remedy their daily habits and their daily body on a daily basis. And unfortunately, when you overlay a lot of that with the opioid crisis, 75% of people addicted to opioids stems from chronic pain and inflammation. And
mhm,
now we're actually providing people, not saying a replacement to opioids, but we're helping to heal the human body in a way. And it's been fascinating as more and more people have understood it. And when they ask to see our science, we're obnoxiously transparent, which is saying, great, here, let's have this open, transparent conversation. Which transparency, when you talk about pharmaceuticals and putting the customers first, that's not the case.
mhm,
And they're profit driven, and they're hiding a lot of things that which is why the warning labels on pharmaceutical drugs are so substantial. We don't have any because we're fully organic. So it's an interesting sales channel to
mhm,
people like your father, where um, people are recognizing that they need to be proactive and preventative and not just reactive, where you just walk into the doctor's office and they just give you a pill that just
Hmm.
removes the symptom.
Yeah. I just feel like for someone like my father and the millions of other people out there who are taking antibiotics and these drugs, information isn't enough. If they see these publications that it's unhealthy and taking natural ingredients will improve their quality of life, I feel like that still isn't going to change their behavior. What do you feel like is the mindset shift that needs to happen for these people to really take the step where they stop their buying habits and consume these natural products that are counterculture?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the psycho kind of graphic of society, right?
Hmm.
And I mean, at the end of the day, that is why I created this company, right? Because I was tired of watching my dad take synthetic chemicals on a daily basis. And it was harmful and hurtful to myself, and recognizing that not only was the guy that is my hero and the person that I love, but recognizing that there's so many others. And then now to see how he acts and how he feels on this product with removing all of the others,
Hmm.
it's incredible. And that's what the passion and the heart and the desire. I mean, we want to systematically change human healthcare forever. It is a tougher sale for the older generation. But the moment that they start taking it, I mean, we have one of our key influencers is Dikembe Mutombo,
Hmm.
worldwide top NBA Hall of Famer, one of the top guys in the world in the basketball. He's now the NBA global ambassador, and has actually a lot of hospitals in Africa. But he's 60 or 55 years old or something like that, and he's going through that whole next iteration of his body and how it
Hmm.
feels. So when you talk to people in our father's age about doing something daily to actually prolong and benefit their health and wellness, and when you make it a personal connection between our generation and their generation of saying, just try this, trust me
Hmm.
and try this, and that's the benefit and the beauty of the product, is that it's actually backed on science. It's like,
Hmm.
no, read, if you want to read the science, and then start to take the product, and it's proving amazing, and the testimonies have been incredible from most of that generation of just saying, wow, I didn't know my body could feel this way again.
Hmm. All right, so I'm in. I want to buy it. One, where do I buy it? And two, for the thousands of people listening, where do they buy it, and how can they help? How can they share, upgrade?
Yeah, so I believe in crowdsourcing this entire thing, right? It's not, I'm not trying to just make a profit. I will never sell out to the pharmaceutical companies. I want to, and we want to, which is why we built a team of now 30 people globally, top professional athletes, investors, family offices, top health and wellness experts, because it is all a collective community. And especially now with Corona, right? We are all recognizing how connected we are, but how in sync that society needs to be, and quite frankly, where we need to make society go after this, which is reinventing the systems. So you can buy it at www.upgrade, upgrade.me. So we have a little play on words with upgrade,
Hmm.
aid.me. And then we are all about how do we help the community. We ran a quick promotion for city meals, and we donated percentage of our profits. So we donated $1,500 2 weeks ago just to city meals. We're looking for creative partnerships. We're looking for people that are inspired by the story and recognize that we can change our healthcare system. And I keep going back to that stat, but 86% of our healthcare costs across the country are spent on chronic conditions. And that's what this company is focused on, making it $1 a day to help remedy these chronic conditions. But to do so in a fully organic way can alleviate a massive amount of our healthcare problems across the country. So
Hmm.
anyone with thoughts and comments and partnerships and ideas, I love it. I'm a people person. I want more and more and more people involved in this dynamic, and growing this and building this to change
Hmm.
human healthcare forever.
Incredible. I commend you. I salute you. I think what you're doing is amazing. So let's change topics and talk about why you're doing it. And I feel like a lot of people, a lot of friends of mine have jobs to pay the mortgage, to pay rent, to pay the groceries, to have some savings, but they actually don't feel like they have passion in what they're doing. They don't feel like their life is a part of a bigger plan, a bigger picture besides their immediate family. And I feel like you are an outlier. Like I feel like you are part of, you work to do bigger things than yourself. Like you're trying to change the pharmaceutical industry, the healthcare system, the agricultural business. How do you, if you could reach these people like you and me, our age, how do you inspire them to self-reflect and realize that they can do things, they can work and get a job or start a business that will have a larger impact than just their immediate selves?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And the one single question that was the most important and an impactful question that I was ever asked. I was down at a panel down in Bahamas, at actually an NBA, NHL, and NFL kind of a family office event. And I was up there talking about sustainability and how recognizing that they have influence and they have power, and we all need to come together as a collective community to really change and create the society that we want. But after my 15, 20-minute speech, a gentleman in the back of the room stood up and asked me the most important question. And he started actually walking up the aisle and pointing at me. And what he was asking was, he said, "Justin, what is your dash?" And I said, "Sir, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about."
Hmm.
He goes, "What is your dash?" And then he points to the entire room and he goes, "Everyone in this room has a dash. Everyone is defined by their dash. Justin, what's your dash?" And I said, "Sir, with all due respect, I have no idea what you're talking about."
Hmm.
And he literally came up on stage and put his arm around me, and I'll never forget it. It obviously lives with me every single day. But he says, "Think about it. What is your dash?" And you're defined by your dash. When you die, you have your gravestone. You have the name that you were given, the day that you were born, dash, the day that you die.
Hmm.
There's nothing about your business, how many deals you made, how much money you did. Your dash is about your legacy. Your dash is about what you did for society and what you contributed. And it's not about the the gravestone. It's about the last time someone's really going to say your name in an impactful and a meaningful way as to how you actually helped their life. So I truly and honestly, I'm fortunate enough to have come from a family that my dad's been a serial entrepreneur, came from nothing, built some pretty big businesses. And it's now shame on me if I don't take it from here and up to here and really create that dash and that legacy that is really all centered around how do we help the most of people and create the right systems and the right businesses we all know that we need to get to with
Hmm.
closed loop sustainability, food, and health and wellness to remedy and right what unfortunately many of the big corporations over the past 30 or 40 years have gotten so wrong.
So if you could speak to the nation, what would you tell them that is a good dash to have? What are the dashes? What are the things out there that people need to know about, and what are the dashes that need more people?
Yeah, well, I mean, your dash. I mean, to your question, right? Your dash is really what you're passionate about, and so I can't sit here and say to anyone that, oh, this is a dash that you need to go off and do.
Hmm.
But I believe that, I mean, at least our dash is about creating health and wellness and sustainability, and pairing the environment with our human health. So I think coming out of this crisis, I think, and being the eternal optimist, we have the skill set, we have the technologies, and I'm talking about we as a society, we have the capability to reinvent the systems that have gone so skewed. When whether you talk about it as just quarterly or earnings, no business should be run just for quarterly earnings, which then fuels the negative dynamics of a lot of what they're providing to consumers.
Hmm.
To closed loop systems, to renewable energy, to how we monitor and maintain our soil and human health care. There's so many systems that we can come out of here and recognize that that can be our collective dash, that we as this defining moment on Corona, where we are all locked in together and we all recognize that we as a human species are all connected in a way that we have never taken a deep breath, taken a relaxation, and said, no, it is about us. We've seen how the earth has already started to heal itself so quickly. You talk about Venice canals, they're clear and dolphins are swimming through it. You talk about air pollution down 30% across major cities. We are contributing to environmental degradation. Okay, so let's all understand that. And how do we collectively, which I think is so important, what you're doing, which is podcasts and engaging conversations, and how do we all then come together and come out of this in a way that we do have that time to reinvent stuff that we need to get to for the betterment of society, for the betterment of the environment, and collectively as a human species.
Incredible. So let's put on the business development hat, the sales hat. You have Upgrade. How do you get the message across? How do you, let's say you're a direct-to-consumer e-commerce business. I don't know if you define yourself as that, but like, how are you
Yeah.
getting your message across to actually become a sustainable business and drive sales and revenue? And is it all social media marketing? Is it influencers? And what are you seeing as that's working and what's not?
Yeah, so it's a combination of both. I mean, obviously, with what's happening with Corona, obviously some of the business strategy has changed, right? That's inevitable. There's not the retail kind of strategy that we were originally working on and all that type of stuff. There's not the professional sports leagues that are actively playing that then need our product. So yeah, so right now we are mostly D2C and e-commerce. And what we're concentrating on though is also building a community,
Mhm.
and not just saying, hey, here, buy our product, buy our product. It's
Mhm.
no, how do we help? So we've actually onboarded telemedicine groups where they are nutritional coaches, and just people to talk to about just life and how they're feeling. And whether you talk about mental health or whether you talk about physical nutrition, that's just a great thing to provide to people that are, especially in this time, in need. And there are a lot of people in isolation. To things like figuring out the right partnerships with creative companies. I mean, we've partnered with many of the gyms because, of
Mhm.
course, the gyms aren't open, and those owners are losing a lot of money. So it's great. Can we give our profits to you based upon using your email list to get to a bunch of other customers? So it's creative dynamics like that. Is how do we create give back programs to groups like City Meals, so that you're buying our product, but you're also donating a hot meal to an elderly in New York City.
Mhm.
Um, so it's almost humanize the sales process in a much greater and better way, than even more so than what was up front.
Mhm.
And we're fortunate to have our distributors and manufacturers still working. And so that's been a blessing. And it's now just about, okay, at the end of the day, our product we know is beneficial for you on a daily basis for your health, for your inflammation, for your aches and pain. And when your body's less inflamed, it's able to be much more beneficial and better for you to fight off everything else.
Mhm.
So this is a personal mission to get it into the hands of as many people as possible. And yeah, in order to have the greatest impact in the world, you got to have the greatest profitability and build the biggest business.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that that's not a focus, but the clear dash of the company is to provide healthcare to people in an affordable way with actual real products and clinically studied organic ingredients.
Mhm. Amazing. All right. So, what's your advice to someone who's listening who wants to start a business that's a green business, let's call it, that's actually beneficial to the world? What's some advice that you would have in regards to how they would even think about launching this business and growing it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question, right? So it kind of very much depends on industries and stuff. And we were fortunate, and we've built infrastructure across renewable energy, from a couple $100 million in solar to food waste conversion to now cardboard to carbon capturing into concrete to, upgrade. So we've been fortunate to be exposed to a lot of industries, and you see kind of why companies start, why companies fail, and why companies grow. And I think a lot of that is you need to try to figure out how to hack the system. And I
Mhm.
truly and full-heartedly believe in human capital. We are all connected. I probably send out even now 20 to 35 messages on LinkedIn per day. Just connecting with people that I have no business connecting with,
Mhm.
but asking for advice, asking for guidance, because I recognize that their 30 years of experience in the exact industry that I'm targeting can navigate me and put me in a position or guide my business in a way that is so much more beneficial than me trying to figure it all out together. Everything online that you can read is probably 20% of what the way business actually truly operates on. And
Mhm.
so finding that human capital hack is, I think, the
Mhm.
most key and critical focus for a company to have.
I love that. You just inspired me. I feel like I need to be more active on LinkedIn, messaging people who I think could help me on my journey. All right. So before I let you go, what are your last words? What are some things that, if this is the last time you're ever gonna speak on a podcast, or if you're gonna, what do you feel like are the last things you want to get across? What's your dash?
That's a good question. Like, I think you can kind of sense my dash. But I'll the other thought that I always live by, is I always assume the last conversation I've had, the last engagement with anyone, the last anything, that coffee that you had, is the moment after that is when you die. And if you
Hmm.
take that philosophy and you take that mindset where, okay, this might be the last conversation, I might drop dead right now. Was I proud of this conversation? Did this conversation reflect truly who I am and what I am focused on? And it's kind of a cynical way to kind of live life, but it's also the best way to live life, where you are appreciating and embracing every single little thing in life, whether that be you're just getting coffee with your friends, or whether be FaceTiming with an amazing person like yourself, or whatever it may be, or you're having that conversation with your family. If that conversation was your last, would you be proud of that, and would that live on in memory forever? And I think it tries to reduce a lot of the pain and a lot of the fighting. And I think that's the greatest thing. It's why I try to never fight with my loved ones, because it's
Hmm.
that thought process is, oh my God, if I drop dead or they drop dead, that's the last thing I said to them. It rewires your brain into saying, and enables you to kind of let a lot of things just kind of flow off your back and say, okay, whatever, it'll be what it'll be, but you know what, I love you, or I appreciate you, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it really does. You just made me think like, oh, I wish I had a different kind of conversation yesterday with that person because I would have been nicer, or bit my tongue a little bit. All right, so where can people find you, Justin, if someone wants to reach out to you?
I'm pretty active on Instagram or LinkedIn. So J underscore Kamine, Kam as in Matthew, I N as in Nancy, E. That's my Instagram, or just Justin Kamine on LinkedIn. I'll answer anything.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Justin. This was awesome. I really respect, admire you. I hope to jump on your train, and I look forward to staying in touch. Seeing you soon.
Awesome, buddy. Yeah, be safe and healthy.
Awesome. See you, Justin.